Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now, hey now, and a hey now. Welcome to our number 3 of the line, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, and Andrew Mclain, who.com, and Lord have mercy, the TikTok that I've been working so hard on. I've been telling y'all the wrong name of the TikTok the whole time. I mean, for weeks I've been doing it. It's the Andrew Mclain. I forgot Andrew Mclain who got banned. So it's the Andrew Mclain on TikTok. Y'all go follow me. And all that stuff. Find us on YouTube. Hey now, Leslie Kirk on YouTube. She's always in there giving us a hey now, and
Yeah,
I
she
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But back to the thing. It was the first question asked to Trump while he was outside of the White House getting his DoorDash, his McDonald's DoorDash. I'd like to know what the order was, by the way. The DoorDash driver refused to answer whether or not she voted for Trump. So
And you know what? And that's okay. And that didn't bother him. That's what I liked.
Yeah, and he kept her there, and actually she went and said, "Thank you so much for what you've done for No Tax on Tips. It's made a huge difference in my life. My husband's got cancer. It's and all this, and so it's they got along. They got along. It's amazing that there's still a lot of people out there, and again, social media sparks this. Everybody's got to be yan at both sides, and they keep they want to keep people divided and fight. This person's a bad person because they got a different view on X, Y, and Z, and blah 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 blah. Sometimes and I had this conversation this morning, and you guys that listen to the show, y'all know this. Like, you don't have to agree with somebody 100% of the time. There's many of y'all that don't agree with me 100% of the time, and that's okay. It's like last week when we went through the Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, and like, I don't have to agree with these people 100% of the time. If they're on a different side of this Iranian conflict, that's fine. Okay, let's move on. There's 99% of other things that we can probably agree on. Now, Alex Jones, a little bit of a different story. I still like Alex Jones, but the fact that he says Trump has dementia and he's calling for the 25th Amendment, that's a definition of TDS. Like, we've all, when it comes to TDS, okay, I don't think that Tucker Carlson's necessarily got TDS. He's got something, but it ain't TDS. I don't think Megyn Kelly's got it. I don't think Candace Owens has got it. Maybe she's got a touch of it. I don't know. But saying that Donald Trump has dementia and calling for the 25th Amendment, we've all agreed for the past 10 years that is a symptom of TDS, have we not? Because that's what liberals have been saying. They've been saying 25th Amendment, impeach Trump, his cabinet needs to, 25th him, all this kind of stuff. And we've said that's Trump derangement syndrome. That's why you want that. And now that a conservative like Alex Jones is doing it, like, should be no different. It's still the same thing. It's liberal talking points. That's Trump derangement syndrome. But I still like the other views that these people have. So, let's all agree to disagree on one or two topics if the greater good is in everything else. So anyway, that brings us back to the picture that Donald Trump posted that many viewed as Donald Trump mocking God. I don't think that was his oh, Lord. I don't know if I should say this out loud, but and those of you watching YouTube, I will pull this. I think John Bird just had some IBS hit him. He just stood up, said, "Oh no," turned around, pointed at his butt, and ran away. So mark your calendar, hour number 3 on April the 13th at approximately 12:11 p.m. Go back and watch that. But anyway, let me stick with my point. So he posted this picture, and on its face, it immediately, you see it, and you're like, Trump is comparing himself to Jesus. I mean, it's what it looks like. There's no way around it. It looks like he's there standing above a man in a hospital bed, placing his hand on the man's head and healing him is the way it's pictured. Now, when I saw it, I mean, that was my first thought as well. And I thought, well, that is an awful look. Do I think that Donald Trump is in the business or has the intention to mock God, mock Jesus? No, I don't think that. I don't think that's who he is. And I don't think that was the intention. As I sat on it for a few and thought about it, I was racking my brain as to what was possibly the intention of doing it if it wasn't to mock God, which, you know, I can't fathom. And you can say that he is. You can say he wants to mock God. I don't think that's him. All of his other actions tell me otherwise. I got to thinking about it, and there has been, over the past 24 to 48 hours, this back and forth with the Pope. And I said to myself, is this Trump's message back to the Pope? Because the Pope was saying that, you know, Donald Trump shouldn't be doing this. He didn't say it this way, but, you know, he talked about, you know, open borders and welcoming everybody and, you know, all the Pope stuff that gets on our nerves. And I thought to myself, is this Trump's message back to the Pope? Basically saying what would happen if I acted like Jesus Christ. And that he's telling the Pope stay out of Trump will stay out of religious decisions at the Vatican if the Vatican and the Pope stay out of politics and decisions as far as the U.S. goes and policies from the White House and everything else, because that's what the Pope was commenting on. And so that was my thought, that maybe that was what he was trying to get at, or that was his intention, even though it ended up turning out poorly. And that seems to, maybe that was the case, maybe it wasn't. But when he was asked about it, he said it depicted me, I thought it depicted me as a doctor. And that I was healing people, yes, but it was depicting me as a doctor as I've been implementing all of these policies that have been helping people that have been sick, whether it's prescription drugs and treatments and everything else. And so I don't know. I don't know what the intentions were, but he deleted it. I mean, at first he didn't, stayed up all night and all morning, but he eventually deleted it when somebody came to him and said, Mr. President, people think you're mocking God. You know, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's not the first time that Trump put a tweet out there that landed the wrong way and caught him a bunch of heat. And it probably won't be the last. Hopefully he can take this as the L that it is and move on. Probably wouldn't even hurt him to come out and make an official statement on it and say, hey, this was not, and I don't know that he would actually do this, but probably wouldn't hurt for him to say, hey, this was not my intention to mock God. I am actually a very pro-Christian president, and I have been standing up for the Christians, and my record shows that, and that was just, you know, poor judgment on my part. I got a million things going on. Sometimes I get on there and I start firing off memes like crazy. I should have done a little more thinking about that one. Who knows? But that's it. That's what it came from. But the Pope stuff has been quite interesting. I'll get into that when we get back on the other side. I want to make sure John Bird's okay, though. You good, buddy?
Yeah, I was drinking my protein drink and all hell broke loose.
What do you mean?
I had to use facilities. Well, excuse me, I had to destroy the facilities.
Wait, so are you saying you did your protein and some IBS kicked in?
Not really IBS. It moves things along.
Oh, okay. So it was a natural movement, but it just hit you in a manner that you couldn't wait until the break.
Yeah, and I spent the night at my buddies Seth and Megan's house, and this morning I talked to Seth a little bit, and he fixed me a coffee, and I shouldn't do that because that gets a little.
Can I recreate what you did? What I saw anyway? I'm gonna have to cut my mic off because I'm gonna have to mouth it. Okay. Here's what I saw.
I don't show every.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And it's on video. I mean, I'm actually going to go back and pull the clip.
Oh,
No, dude, we've got to post that. It was.
I mean, it's not IBS. It's just healthy living, healthy cleaning out things.
But the look on your face, you go.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And then you pointed at your butt on the way out.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to let you know, and I didn't want to say it on the air. I wanted to let you know, colon problems, red alert. Oh, dang.
Brown alert.
Oh, dang.
Oh, man. What a time to be alive. 205-545-9950. 545-9950. Let's talk Pope and let's talk Iran coming up next. I'm getting a tremendous amount of messages asking if you're okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Miss Officer did send us the clip of where you dipped out, and it's good. It's good content.
Oh, dang it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It gives me something to post tonight. Gives us content, man. Remember the content. And we're gonna call it Code Brown.
And how far does this have to go? How far do you have to go to get your content?
Boomer says that was so wrong. We didn't need to know JB sharded, but it is funny.
No, I did not. I did not shart at all.
Bubba Rumble says, on this day in broadcasting history, Jonathan Bizzle sharded his britches.
I did not. Okay, first of all, I did not. I was able to get there. I just felt the rumble, but there were two forms. There was the sort of more liquidy, like I got to get out of here, and then Trump was blocking the Strait of Hormuz, so I had to get Trump out.
You had a blockade there at the end.
Yeah.
And you almost had an aneurysm trying to get it out.
What did I do? Why do I do this?
Wow. So, really, if you wouldn't have left the studio, you would have been okay. You would have just been in pain.
Yeah, I was in immense pain, like, got to get it out, got to get it out, got to get it out.
But the ships got through. The oil tankers, the big brown oil tankers got through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, but I really hope that later on that Trump doesn't bomb the Strait. That would be bad.
Sounds like the Strait's already being bombed. Justin says, I just looked at your YouTube studio a minute ago online. It's similar to the restroom at our corporate office. Same migraine lighting. We do have migraine lighting going on today. That's for sure. Brian says, JB, I feel your pain. Let's see. Walter says, took a while to get there. To get
I'm eastbound, just watch your bandit run.
Kenny says, did he say I felt the rumble butt? Patrick says, was it a cargo fart? The kind that leaves a load?
Oh my gosh. Well, weren't we talking about the trope and pump? The
yeah, we were.
Trump. I'm all messed up. I'm turning my mic off.
By the way, Fox News is interviewing the DoorDash lady right now. Can you tell me what she's saying? Can we get that? Let's get that real quick.
And so when I found out about the no tax on tips, I was like, this is incredible, because this, it's not going to replace my life savings, but it's going to help certainly with future doctor's appointments and future things that, we have going on.
Sure. How much would, go ahead. Sorry.
It means a lot.
How much would you say it is?
Where am I at? Here we are. I'm curious as to what she said on the front end, if they asked her if she was actually a Trump supporter or not, or if she voted for Trump. She obviously didn't, because she wouldn't just outright say it. But I'll go back and watch that later. We don't have to get into all that. But interesting enough, she is very happy about the no tax on tips. And I would be curious, for those of you that are in that industry with DoorDash and Uber and Lyft, and have you seen a dramatic difference? I guess the difference would likely come in what your tax returns look like, because ultimately, as a rideshare driver, you can pay your taxes periodically throughout the year, but dare I say, most people just don't worry about it. Some people may put money back throughout the year. Other people may just plan on breaking even and not paying anything. For those of you that got no tax on tips, you might have actually, if you are a full-time rideshare driver, you may have gotten some money back this year. I know when I was doing it, I didn't get any tax returns, but I also didn't pay anything in. Like I would literally pay no tax on anything. I would keep 100% of my profits, and then at the end of the year, I would take all my deductions, and it would end up canceling out what I was supposed to pay in taxes. And so I would break even, which was fine. It was fine with me. I'd rather keep all of my money or keep my tax money throughout the year and not get a tax return once a year than to have to pay it all to the government and just hope I get some money back. But anyway, good for her. Glad she got to go to the White House as well. Richard the Cop says, better to have diarrhea than gonorrhea. And that's good advice. Trucker Jack says, I'm glad JB is not full of it anymore. And Dixter says, JB, was it like that Brahma bull slapping at the chute gate saying, turn me loose somewhere in the middle of Montana?
Oh, my gosh. Come on, folks.
It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days. Noto Roofing bringing you this part of the show. NOTOroofing.com. NOTOroofing.com. I'd hate to see you up on the roof and you have one of those code browns happen to you. You're trying to get something fixed or you're trying to inspect your own roof. That won't happen if you don't do it. If you let somebody else do it, if you let my boys at Noto get up there, give you a free roof inspection, complimentary roof tune-up, you won't find yourself in that situation. You know Noto's the best of the best. If you haven't had your roof inspected in a while, now's the time to do it. Get in touch with them. Let them know I sent you, and let them take care of you. You might not have any problems, but at least you'll have peace of mind knowing that somebody checked it out, looked at it, made sure it was on the up and up. Noto Roofing. 205-848-2299 online. NOTOroofing.com. Real quick, Richard the Cop. Richard, go ahead, bud.
The no tax on tips, I got about a $1,700 deduction last year because of it.
Nice.
And when I was working a day job, I had $9,300 something worth of overtime that wasn't taxed.
Nice.
So it's making a difference. The thing of it is, every week I got a screenshot on the Uber. I've got a screenshot the screen that shows the days of the week, and then scroll up and screenshot the tips for that week. Keep a running list. And then on Lyft, you can do it at the end of the month because it gives you a monthly total.
Gotcha.
So you got to stay on top of your records, but it makes a difference. Trust me.
Well, good stuff. Yeah, I was really, and thanks, Richard. I was really curious about that, about how it was actually playing out in real time for our rideshare Hey Now Nation. So that's good. Helps people out even just a little bit. It's good. Jay says if you post JB run into the bathroom, you should play the audio from the old 2002 Detrol LA commercial. You can find it on YouTube. Gotta go right now. What was that? What was that commercial?
I remember it briefly. Detrol. They might sue us if we use it.
Gotta go.
Oh, come on. Don't have to look it up.
Go right now. I'm just seeing. Detrol LA bladder control. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not bladder control. Colon control.
Colon control. Gotta go right now. Hi-ho Silver, away.
Good grief.
Yeah, we'll do something with it. It'll be good. When you gotta go, cousin. That's it. All right, let me talk about Pope Leo real quick so everybody understands. And again, it was when I mentioned the post from Trump yesterday or early this morning with the Jesus thing. I said, maybe he's taking a shot at the Pope. I don't know what it is, but I knew they had beef. So either way, shouldn't have posted it. But the world's going to keep moving, and hopefully he can learn from that. And, even an apology wouldn't hurt. But I know that Trump's not big on apologies, so we'll see if that happens. Donald Trump ends up going after the Pope because the Pope said something along the lines of Donald Trump's policies in so many words. He condemned President Trump's iron-fisted Iran warning as truly unacceptable. So he's going back to the whole open the effing strike, probably. He blasted Trump's ultimatum to the Iranian regime, siding with the mullahs over American strength, blah, blah, blah. I don't have the Pope's actual comments, but listen to this right here. This is Donald Trump when he arrived back in Washington, I think maybe last night, responding to a question from one of the reporters about what the Pope had been saying.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart, and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
I'm not a fan of Pope Leo, he says. He's not. I mean, it's kind of the same old thing. We deal with this with every pope. It's, the popes are liberal or whatever. I don't know. I think it's in some capacity, the pope's got to be controlled in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to powerful people or very popular people, there are always other people and entities. Probably the most powerful people on the globe are always going to look to control those people, right? You reach a certain level of popularity, there's going to be people coming after you and saying, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z in order to, keep your career or whatever it may be. And so I think that's probably the case with no matter who the Pope is. But I don't follow the Pope. I'm not Catholic. But the Catholics I do talk to, none of them seem to be very happy with the Pope, this Pope or the previous Pope or whatever. Nobody seems to really like the Pope doing what he does, at least with his, his public comments. Trump took to Truth Social on the Pope deal. He said Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy. He talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services, even when going outside and being 10 and even 20 feet apart. I like his brother, Louis, much better than I like him because Louis is all MAGA. Remember, the Pope's brother is a big Trump supporter. He gets it, and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want a pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States, and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers, into our country. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide to do, setting record low numbers in crime and creating the greatest stock market in history. Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American, and they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. Now, that's interesting that he says that, because he's not just saying that because he's making it up out of thin air. He's got some reason to believe that there was something behind the scenes, or somebody maybe suggested that let's go with an American pope, because an American pope can take shots at Donald Trump and possibly be detrimental to his administration. Or when was Pope Leo elected? Do we remember? Was it before the 2024 election? It was after, wasn't it? Pope Leo's only been around like a year or so, right? John Bird's asking Siri.
May 8th of 2025.
Okay, so it was after. But there's a reason he's saying that. That I wouldn't just dismiss that as Donald Trump making something up. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons, does not sit well with me, nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left, who is one of those who wanted churchgoers and clerics to be arrested. Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense, stop catering to the radical left, and focus on being a great Pope, not a politician. It's hurting him very badly, and more important, it's hurting the Catholic Church. So there is, again, quite a heated exchange between Trump and the Pope, but what are you going to do, man? It's what we knew we were going to get when we voted for Trump. Now, the argument can be made. We only had one other choice, which was Kamala Harris, and there was no way we could do that. But you take with the good with the bad, right? The good with the bad, John Bird. Protein is good for you. You got to have it in your body. But sometimes bad comes with it, like
that's right.
Trip to the bathroom.
Yes, but it's a cleansing. That's the important thing.
And that's a glass half full aspect. Even though you almost crapped your pants, you've also cleansed your body.
Yes.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But
then
I can also thank Trump for not crapping my pants because it was blocking.
That's right. Blocking the Strait of John Bird's colon. Speaking of the Strait of Hormuz, I need to get into that. So what's the latest on that? Most of you know by now, but the vice president and the entourage of the Trump administration has been in Pakistan for some very detailed and important strategic meetings for the negotiations. Iran has been, I guess, sending messages through Pakistan to the U.S. to help us find a resolution to this. Well, as the talks continue and as we have seen after the original ceasefire was done, the Strait of Hormuz has not been open as it said it would be. Now, there is speculation as to why that is. I think there's probably several things, one of which is that the Iranians want to create a system that brings them more money when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. And also, I think it's the fact that the Iranians have dropped mines in the Strait of Hormuz earlier this year, but have no idea where they are because they did it in such a hurry. How many, we don't know, but they did it in such a hurry. They didn't produce a proper way to track these mines. And with currents and everything else in nature and with the sea, you ultimately have them moving around and heaven knows where they're at this point, right? And so because of that, they have been ultimately using that as an excuse for only certain boats and certain oil tankers to come and go. That was not part of the deal, and Trump's not going to put up with that. There was speculation about what Trump is going to do, and for anything or anybody that thinks they know what Trump's next move are, they're lying to you. How many people said, we're putting boots on the ground, we're going to take over this, and we're going to take over that, and our sons and daughters are about to be put in harm's way in the firefight, and that none of that's happening. What's happening instead is, as of almost 3 hours ago, we have implemented a blockade. We have sent our naval destroyers out to the Strait of Hormuz, and we have taken it over. And we have said we are going to decide who can come and go. The rules are as follows: that if you're coming out of an Iranian port, you are not going to be allowed through the Strait of Hormuz and off into the larger ocean to go send your oil wherever you want. Iran's not playing by the rules of the ceasefire, so it's over. Now we're back to business. Iran, who survives on the money they're making off their oil, is now no longer able to ship it out. Everybody else from other ports in the Persian Gulf, such as Saudi Arabia, the UAE, they can continue on sending their oil out. We'll let that by. But in the meantime, it's not going to happen. We also sent 2 ships through the Strait of Hormuz to see if, in fact, there are any bombs, any mines in those shipping lanes. And there does not seem to be. In the meantime, while this blockade's going to go on, they're going to be looking for said mines. Here's what's important to understand, and I've done this time and time again, and I'll do it again when we get back on the other side. This will give you time to pull it up. Pull up a map or Google Earth or whatever, and take yourself over to the Middle East region. Take yourself over to Iran and take a good long look at the Strait of Hormuz. Zoom in on the Strait of Hormuz, and when we get back, I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going on, where these boats are supposed to be, and where Iran ultimately wants them to be, which is not going to work now that we are calling the shots in the Strait. The Line Talk 99.5, talk995.com, McLain.com, and all that. I got to give props to AJ, who's in here working hard trying to get these blinds charged up so we can pull them back down.
He does it all, man. He's my hero.
I mean, it's like, I gave it a shot too, man. It's almost like rocket science. You got a piece. Like there's a port to charge it, but it's in the most inconvenient spot it could possibly be. So you can't get back there and plug it in order to do it. So we're all just gonna have the right side of our face nice and tan by the end of the show, I guess. Well, not AJ, just me. AJ's already got a tan. But I will be tan. Half tan. 205-545-9950. 545-9950 if you want to get in. Come on with it. All right, so I told y'all to pull up the map, right? I didn't even do it myself. If you're looking at it, I know. I should have done this way before now. I'm pulling it up. Google Earth is usually my go-to. I prefer. And I was doing this with Peyton this weekend. I was trying to explain to him kind of how all this is working. Explore Earth. There we go. Got it. All right. So you go in, you move your little globe around, you go on the far side, you find Iran, you zoom in, you got the Persian Gulf. You know, on one side, you got Iran. On the other side, you've got Kuwait. You've got Saudi Arabia, the UAE. You've got Oman and all of the Middle Eastern countries there. And then there's the Strait, which is a very narrow waterway that ships have to pass through. It's the only door to the whole place. It's the only way to get in and out of the Persian Gulf, which is where all these ports are, where all the ships dock, where they get their oil, and then they make their way back out. So early this year, in anticipation of a conflict with the U.S., allegedly, the Iranians dropped a bunch of landmines. That may be true. It may not be true. But they didn't keep up with them, so they really don't know where they are, and they're using that as an excuse to say, hey, y'all better not come through here because we don't really know where these landmines are. In the meantime, they're allowing some ships to come and go. Now, as you're looking at the strait, there is a kind of a roadway, if you will, that is on the westernmost side of the strait. And it is kind of one lane goes in, one lane goes out. And there's kind of a buffer zone in between the two lanes. You can't see them on the map. They're kind of imaginary lanes, but people that drive these ships, they know where they're at. And that's where all these ships have gone for a long time. That's where they're saying it's dangerous, okay? So what Iran is suggesting is for the ships to move east to the eastern side of the Strait of Hormuz, which goes right alongside of the Iranian shoreline. And that will then allow them to guide the ships through a passageway, a smaller passageway that goes between the Iranian coast and a small island called Larak, Larak. What they want to do, what the Iranians want to do is use that small Larak island as a toll booth, kind of like you would use if you're coming out of a parking deck, right? You got the person in the little booth and they say, give me your ticket, your $3 or whatever, and then you pay your $3 and they lift up the gate and you go through. That's what the Iranians are trying to convince the rest of the world to do. And that way they can solely control what goes in and out of the Persian Gulf. That's not going to fly. We're not going to do that. We want the opposite. We want the Iranians to have no control over the Strait of Hormuz, and we want to treat it as international waters, or maybe even United States controlled waterways. So we send a couple ships out there, a couple warships and they drive through there to see if there's, in fact, any mines floating around that would damage ships, and it seems to be clear. After that, we decide, hey, you know what we're going to do? The president decides this. We are going to just create a blockade, which they did this morning, and we are going to let everyone through except for the ships that are coming out of Iranian ports. Now, that's all Iran has left, is being able to bring in money because of their oil that is going out, that's going to places like China and others. That's now blocked off. They don't have a Navy to come combat that. They don't have an Air Force to come fight back against our ships. They may have a little few boats here and there that they think they can, annoy us a little bit with. But they're stuck now. They've literally got nowhere to go. And what makes this even more fascinating is, as we talked last week about the raid on Venezuela and the capture of Maduro, we now have Venezuelan oil, large amounts coming into the U.S., and this move itself is creating other countries bringing their ships to the U.S.